throughout social media. We're going to get you out here well before the top of the hour, give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games, and that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's deliver live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later, and to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, now Ninos is with us. Dan Lane will sign in bottom of the hour. David Racy coming in today. It's Wednesdays with Mitch, Chris Ruffolo, and of course we got Wayne Scott. And here's how they'll line up for this evening. Ruffolo, Mitch, Ninos, Racy, Scott, Lane, and then I will close this one out. All right, baseball on the board today. Some primetime action. We'll have, looks like 9 games on the board for Major League Baseball to bet into. So let's go ahead and get this one underway. Let's welcome in Chris Ruffolo. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring in Chris right now. Catch him every day, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time here with the morning show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. on the weekends. So we'll go ahead and bring in Chris right now. Ready to roll, Chris. Chris, what's happening?
Not much. I'm just taking in the afternoon baseball. How are you doing?
Doing great. Yeah, afternoon baseball. Braves up 5-2 in Game 2 of their doubleheader. We got some nighttime action tonight. This is the one that's featured on ESPN tonight as we look at this Yankees team at the Mets. So the Mets favorite here at -107, total 7.5.
Yeah, when I saw the Subway Series on the schedule this season, I was coming to it really excited. I thought, the Mets were going to play well, the Yankees were going to be hot. But now you come into the Subway Series with no Aaron Judge, no Pete Alonso, so it's lost a little bit of its luster. But how do you get some of it back? Well, you put Garrett Cole against Justin Verlander. And normally in past seasons, I don't bet against Justin Verlander in interleague play. I mean, the guy's got like a 750 win percentage or something like that, sub-3 ERA. But right now, as inconsistent as the Yankees have been, the one thing that the Mets have been doing consistently is losing baseball games. They always find a way to be disappointing, and they've lost 9 of their last 10. When the offense shows up, the pitching blows up, and when the pitching actually shows up to play, the offense is nowhere to be found. I think it's going to be more of the same here. Garrett Cole has had issues in the past against the Mets, but you look at his last couple of road starts. Last time out, 6 innings of 1-run ball against the Dodgers, 6 shutout innings against Toronto, some solid opposition. Justin Verlander, like I said, he's had some solid outings himself, but the Yankees are just much easier to trust offensively right now. And the defense has been showing up for the Yankees as well. We're getting the better price with the Yankees as well. I don't feel like laying juice with a team that's lost 9 of 10, even with Justin Verlander on the mound. So I'm going to take Garrett Cole and the Yankees this one even money.
Yeah, Chris here with the even money here on the Yankees. Yeah, how can you argue that the way the Mets have looked of late? And, of course, look at the difference in the bullpen. Boy, that 8th inning yesterday just tells you how good this Yankees bullpen was getting out of that jam in that high leverage spot. Yeah,
they've stepped it up, and I think you've had to when you've just seen all the injuries that the Yankees have gone through, and when you lose Aaron Judge, I mean that's a big part of your offense. Obviously, he's not in the bullpen, but the Yankee bullpen in the month of June, 2nd in baseball and staff ERA, while the Mets down in 17th, almost 2.5 runs higher as a unit. So actually 3 runs higher as a unit. So yeah, I got to give the edge to the bullpen for sure for the Mets. Yeah. Both these guys, I think they go 6 innings, but I think the Yankees bullpen's the difference.
Yeah, Yankees bullpen, man, that looks like almost. They be careful of that pen if they can play like that in the postseason. Look out, Yankees here, even money against the Mets. This one will have a start time here of 7 Eastern Time. This one will be our nationally televised game now on ESPN. All right, Chris, let's take a look over at Pick Dog for tonight's action. Of course, baseball on the board tonight. Putting up football numbers, so if you're looking for a football capper, we're a few months away. Just keep Chris in mind. All right, Chris, what do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Well, tonight got my MLB pickoff play for $19. Also got that play as part of my my MLB triple play. But like you said, we got to start thinking about football. Got to start chipping away at baseball. Start getting ready for football season. So if you like football, I'll have my package up soon. But for right now, check out a long-term pass. The best way to go at Pick Dogs Premium.
Yeah, long-term pass is the way to go. Get on board with Chris Ruffolo or Pick Dogs. Of course, the long-term pass, that 30-day pass gets you all of Chris's baseball for 30 days. Remember that promo code PICK at checkout. That's going to save you 15% off at checkout. All right, Chris, as always, great having you show. To your success, we'll catch up with you again here on the show next week. But let me know what you have gone over at Pick Dogs. Of course, the Puck Dogs video series, the hockey over. We're looking forward to next season. Of course, we are still part of that morning team.
Yeah, great hockey season. I want to thank everybody for checking out those videos. But yeah, lots of stuff going on. Like you said, Tony, daily previews. I got my daily home run prop show. There's tons of videos, from a bunch of different cappers on the website. So make sure you have those notifications turned on so you can be the first to be notified when that content drops, even for the live shows as well, the morning show, drive through, you name it.
There you go. So check them out on the morning shows. Set those notifications so you're live when they're live. Get the best numbers. All right, Chris, have a great rest of the week. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Sounds good, Tony. Take care.
You got Chris Ruffolo here on the drive. Let's continue here on the coverage. Go ahead and bring it in Mitch. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Boy, the Tigers have tied this 5-5. Where does this offense come from? Dodd on the mound. That was overnight up on the overnights yesterday with Dodd here pitching in game 2, the lefty boy. But 5-5 here in this one between the Braves and Tigers in game 2 of their doubleheader. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-through. We'll go ahead and bring in Mitch. We'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. That morning show every day at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Mitch, what's happening?
Just living it out. We got some daytime weekday sports again here on Wednesday, which is nice. You know, they this year there's always Thursday day games. Sometimes there's Wednesday day games. I kind of like today's schedule where they kind of played these games early and then you kind of one in the middle of the afternoon and then, you know, the rest are evening games. I think this is the way they should be doing it. We saw it last week. I think it was Thursday where they did one at like 12:30 Eastern and then a 3:45 Eastern and, you know, then the regular nighttime card. It was perfect.
Yeah, I like it, especially p.m. Eastern, and you got to have that game in there if you're going to have day baseball, right? Even if not a West Coast game. I know this is a doubleheader game. If there was no West Coast game, there would be no game at this hour, which they should think about doing. Make sure you cover that time frame there. But tonight we go out to the Cincinnati Reds team, a team that I think there's been a bit of a culture change with some of their recent call-ups. We're starting to see some success from this Reds team. But again, we'll see how they do when they face some of the tougher competition. Reds favored here, -109 in this one against the Royals.
Yeah, you know, you got to like what you've seen from the Cincinnati Reds this season. And, you know, like Tony said, bit of a culture change and, you know, also just a changing of the guard. I think we saw last year when the Reds traded Luis Castillo and what they traded him for, that there's definitely a youth movement going on. And Cincinnati, never a place where they're going to go out and sign the big free agents, just not their game. They're more about the homegrown talent and trying to keep at least a couple players around and then building around them with more young talent. And I think, to be honest with you, that's been the more successful roadmap in baseball over the years. We see some superstar teams get it done, but they're few and far between. The thing is that when we look at you know, this Reds team, these games have been really, really close. These games with the Royals, and I've had the Reds in every single game heading into this one. And I've been on the Reds a lot this season. I like what they're doing. I've had probably a little bit more faith in some of their pitching than some of the other people out there. And I think, you know, for me, the fact that I don't lean on starting pitching as much as some other people in their handicapping because those guys only play 5 innings, it's to my benefit, you know, with some of these teams. And I think, you know, for the Reds, I've been able to get away with that, you know, when you have guys like Williamson starting, you know, who's not very good. And, you know, that you see that all he has to do is be able to be competitive, you know, in the first 5 innings. Then it turns it, you know, over into a whole different game. I think in this one, though, I think the Royals have the edge here with Lynch over Lively. And Lively has really been busted up a lot recently. And Lynch really isn't that bad. You know, I hate to use the Brian Bitler adjective there, but that really is the truth about him. You know, he isn't that bad. Bitler adjectives are he isn't that bad, or they're not that bad, and the other one is scrappy, right? Those are the Bitler adjectives. We know them well. But I think in this case, I think that Lynch is the lesser of two evils here. He hasn't pitched that much this season, but he's a 3-run-a-game guy for 2 of those games, 2 runs in one of the other ones. And really, throughout a guy like Sonny Gray's career or something like that, those are the type of numbers that you generally see from a guy like that. You know, he's not going to be a 3.31 ERA guy or a 2.89 ERA guy. That's not his role, and it's not where he's going to be. But in the Kansas City Royals rotation, in the grand scheme of things, he might be a guy that sticks. And, you know, we saw Salvi Perez get some big hits. We also saw him strike out last night with the bases loaded with 2 outs late in the game. But I think the Royals have competed in this series. Now, one thing that we have to do, and I have this argument with some guy named Ron Romanelli all the time, is that I believe that, you know, you have to kind of look at it sometimes and say, you kind of have to say that, okay, the Royals win 20-something percent of the game. But if you're going to pick the Royals, you're almost throwing darts and trying to find that one game out of 5 that they're going to win. I mean, it really is that. And we see that with a lot of teams, but at the same time, it's not like the Reds win 100% of their games or 80% of their games. The opposite. So there is some in between there, but in general, you take the Royals, they win 20%. And I think tonight might be one of those. I just think that they're not going to win. They're not going to string them together. They're probably not going to go on a streak like we've seen from Oakland. They're probably not going to do a lot of those things. In fact, they're going to stink most of the season. But I do believe they grab a win tonight.
All right, Mitch says faith here on this Royals team. They're minus 101. If you thought they might have got a win, it might have been against Luke Weaver, right? That was, I think, people might have thought if you looked at that. But you had him on it. You had him there. Of course, you saw the entire series. That probably got your attention. So you had faith in the Weaver game, and you're going against him here at Lively on the mound.
Well, the thing is, the Reds have faced Jordan Lyles.
That was a key. Yeah, it was Lyles. That's right.
And Zach Greinke, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, Weaver's a fade, but so is Lyles. So to me, that's a wash. And then now you're back at, the Royals are a 20%er. They're basically, you've got two aces. One is burned, and the other guy is sitting, with two pair. It's like you got one card, in the deck that can help you, and you got to make sure that you're just that you hit it. And I just think this might be that spot. With the Royals, you are throwing darts. I think you look at the last 10 games here, with the Kansas City Royals, and if in that whole scheme that I just mentioned, that situation, it figures, that this game figures, that this is the one where they actually do hit. Because, so the Royals are hitting at, based on this alone, the Royals are hitting at a 269 clip. So that's 1 out of every 4 games. So that would put them about 2-8 or 3-7 out of their last 10 for every 10 games that they play. Right now, they've lost 8 games in a row and are 1-9 in their last 10. It's hard to lose 10 in a row, right? I mean, 9 in a row is hard to lose. 10 in a row, especially at home, they're not going to lose them all. That's for sure. And this just seems like a logical spot. Lively's been cracked. I mean, he's
the home
terrible.
run. Yeah, he's
got a lively arm. It's like, is that the best you got? Like,
2 home runs, 2 home runs per 9 innings. Of course, the Reds bullpen on the road. Believe it or not, on the road, it's been. They would thought the home would be bad, but it's the road where they have to struggle with an ERA over 5.
Yeah, well, they're walking guys in. They're doing all those things. I think the Reds are exciting to watch, but we know that young teams like this, it's the growth process, man. It's the growing experience. They're not going to win them all, and they're going to throw one away. That's a tight one. The Royals, they're not going to win many, but they're not going to lose them all. And it's like they're hitting at a 25% clip. It's like they're due. I hate to say it, but it's like, it figures. It's like they're not going to win them all. They've lost the series. I'm not like picking them to win the series or any of those things. I think they win this isolated game.
Yep,
they've had the lead. They've had the lead in every game.
Yeah. Yep.
The Royals, in games that the Royals have scored first, they're like 0-60 or something. I think that's the problem.
Yeah. And also, you got the Reds, for some reason, they're hitting lefties this year, almost 288, 5.5 runs a game, have a winning record against lefties. Although it was a little better about a few weeks ago, but they have had that success. But we'll see how we'll roll here. They're facing this Lynch. Mitch on the Royals here, minus 101 against the Reds. This one will have a start time here at 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right, we kind of like to go through some of the day baseball with Mitch, get to kind of pick his brain a little bit on some of these teams and some of these games going on here. Of course, the game 1 of this doubleheader, high scoring. Braves win 10-7. Game 2, 5-5 in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, Spencer Strider got rocked in that game, and the Braves were able to rally and come back. I mean, it was 4-0 before you could bat an eyelash. And generally when there's a situation in a game where the team gets out of trouble, where more runs could have scored than, in more than likely a scenario, like a runner at third with nobody out, and the run doesn't come across the plate, no matter what the score is, that always comes back and burns you. And I think that's what happened with the Tigers there, is they kind of lost all momentum right then and there. And you're up against the Braves. They're not going to just let you off the hook.
No, Strider's been trending to the over in his starts, and another over coming in on his start, 10-7 there in game 1 of the doubleheader. Game 2 of the doubleheader.
I like the Braves. I like what the Braves have some good young pitchers coming up, and I like the way they're doing it. Sirocco is disappointing in his return, and he would have probably gone in one of these games today. But this Smith-Shawver has been a home run. I mean,
Yeah,
he's just
and look at the way the Braves do things, right? Soroka, 2 bad starts, they send him back to the minors. You know?
Yeah, but he needs the work. He has the talent. He's just not ready to be there, you know?
Yep, no doubt
It's
about
and
that.
it's fine. There's no urgency.
None whatsoever. And of course, they are going through some injuries there in the rotation with Kyle Wright-Fried. That's been some issues there. Brewers and Twins. Twins get it here as favorites 4-2.
Yeah, I hate the Brewers' guts also. Last night, they burned me so bad. Up 5-3, lose 7-5. You know, it was like dead to me at that point. I didn't bet this game, but I know Ron Romanelli had this one as his afternoon play available at the website. He's like, I'm going to do an afternoon play, and then I'm going to have my big play, my $19 play, as my late play. So I told Romanelli that I would plug his late play on the show, and I just did. So Romanelli still has his $19 play out there, actually heating up a little bit. I think he's had last year. He had the same thing where he kind of went through this slump. He gets, to me, I mean, he's not gonna listen to me. But he goes through these phases where it's like he just becomes infatuated by strikeouts.
Yeah, well, and that's the key, right? The high strikeout guys like Strider having struggles. Lynn has high strikeouts, almost 25%, and we see what he's doing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the key. There's the hard hit contact and the mistakes.
But he has a play in a late game, and he has it for sale. It's his $19 play.
All right, guys, so check it out there at Pick Dog Stream with Ron Romanelli. Giants with the comeback. They do it again in 10 innings. Get the win here, 8-5.
This was just the gift that keeps on giving. I had the reverse run line in this game personally. I had a premium on the Giants as it was. 2 outs in the 9th inning, and the Giants smack a 2-run homer to get it to extras. They get it to extras. They score 3 runs. Honestly, it could have been 6 or 7. The Cardinals were just done. They just cashed it in. Tony, what do you think of this? That since Yadi Molina isn't there anymore behind the plate, that he's good for a two runs on every pitcher's ERA that he caught.
I guess you might probably have to go back and look how they calculate the WAR, wins above replacement, right? How important the catcher is.
Yeah, but to have a catcher that is just a defensive, up the middle in baseball is just so underrated by people that are just, off fantasy baseball players, right? But up the middle defense is really the most important thing and what makes the difference. So it's that catcher, second baseman, and shortstop, and your center fielder where the games are won and lost almost all of the time. And Yadi Molina is not only good for, he wasn't, towards the end of his career, he wasn't a good hitter anymore. He was no longer a good hitter. But try stealing second on him, good luck. And, he not only did he throw people out, trying to steal second, he just made people just say, I'm not going to do it. So when you don't allow them to steal second and they don't even think about stealing second, well, now the double play is in. Right? So it's like you have a guy at third base who's probably one of the best defensive third basemen in all of baseball. He can turn the double play. He can grab the ball that's coming down the line, right? That, he makes that stop, double play instead of, a 2-run double. I mean, and it's just an entirely different scenario going on without Yadi. But you look at a guy like Jordan Montgomery, today's starter, right? With Yadi, without Yadi. Last year he comes over from the Yankees. He's got Yadi, and all of a sudden he's a star. This year, no Yadi, suck, right? Yeah. And look at the Cardinals.
Wainwright,
it's also the leadership in the clubhouse. The thing that to me that was amazing, the most amazing statistic about this game is that when you stack these two teams up against each other, right? The Cardinals and the Giants. Cardinals are favored in this game, yet in the grand scheme of things, the Cardinals are 9.5 games behind the Giants in the overall National League standings. I mean, the Giants started the season slow, but they're 4 games over 500 now. Yeah.
And you can't look at that bullpen stats anymore because their bullpen has really got better over the last couple of weeks.
If the season ended today, the Giants are in.
Yeah.
The Giants are in if the season ends today. And, they're in over, teams that probably people think off the back of their hand would be in over them, like the Brewers, the Phillies, and even the Reds, who are so in favor these days. And then the Padres, who everybody picked, right, to throw the Dodgers up the track. And the Cardinals, don't even kid yourselves here. This is the worst team in the National League. And I'm not saying just by what we saw on the field, blowing a 2-run lead in the bottom of the ninth inning, at home, throw that out. You're the worst team in the National League. You have a worse record than the Washington Nationals. You're the worst team, right? You're the worst team. In fact, the Detroit Tigers, who we're talking about, over here, where did the offense come from? Stuff. They got a better record than the Cardinals, man. The Cardinals suck. They are statistically the third worst team record-wise in all of baseball. Yet they're favored minus 150 against a team that, if the season ended today, is in. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. I don't even in what world,
That's right.
This is not, this is not brain surgery. Even if the Giants don't win, you gotta like your chances, right?
Yeah. Plus, DeSclafani on the hill. That's the Giants.
They're into plus money. I got it at plus 127. My money line bet, because I bet at money line, I bet at reverse run line, right? So it's like I'm in at plus 139, which is I'm in at 127. I didn't get the 139, but I got in at 127. I thought that was getting my money in good,
Yeah, that's for sure.
I don't understand it personally, but this is the world we live in. With how are the Cardinals minus 150 favorites? They're the third worst freaking team out there.
And that is the sharpest book. That's the sharpest book in the world there. And then that's again, sometimes these lines just, you just scratch your head.
But there's no argument there. There's nothing there that shows it. because so you could bet the Cardinals because they're favored because the books are begging for San Francisco action. Is that the reasoning? I mean,
we have someone in chat saying that according to Baseball Reference, Yadi Molina is 14th all time in the history of baseball in WAR, wins above replacement. So that's pretty solid there. 14th all time.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. He's one of my guys. We all have our guys. And I'm a defensive guy. Yadi's my guy. He's one of my guys. He is the clubhouse leader. He holds everybody accountable. Paul Goldschmidt doesn't hit like this with Yadi on this team. It does not happen. Nolan Arenado doesn't hit like this with runners in scoring position with Yadi on this team. He doesn't. He doesn't allow it.
No, I think the Cardinals need a new bench coach, Yadi.
It's like when Shaq said in that thing, he's like, hey, man, a guy on my team misses 8 or 9 3-pointers in a row. I tell him, man, you shoot another 3, I'm going to punch you right in the face.
Yeah.
He's like, and they knew I meant it.
Yeah.
You got to hold them accountable.
Yep, no doubt about that. And of course, the game right now in progress, 5-5 here with the Tigers and the Braves in Game 2. Mitch, I'm looking at a stat right here. If you were to put $100, Mitch, on the A's to win, and you let it roll for during the win streak, how much would you have?
$1 million.
$175,759. So, if you took 100 and you bet on the A's in their during their win streak and let it ride each time, it'd be $175,000. So,
I don't know anybody that did it.
No, I don't know anybody either. No, I don't know one that did
anybody that did it. I think it's one of the harder things to do is to take your winnings and just parlay it over, especially on the same team.
Progressive, yeah.
Like you've been in Vegas with me, so I have no problem rolling it all and betting it all on something. But it's like I don't think that. I think last night I would have struggled with it.
Yeah, NFL playoffs is a good strategy there if you really peg a team to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and in college football where you have mismatches.
Yeah,
and bad lines. No
doubt. All right, Mitch, well, you better know what's happened over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Play. Says we finished NBA and NHL season, and we all wait for football.
These are the dog days of summer, and we know it at Pick Dogs. We're not going to sit here and pretend that it's not, and that, oh, man, it's so exciting. We're not going to sit here and sell our months for $15 a month or anything like that like the other guys are all doing. I don't know. Tony, maybe we should buy him a guitar and send him a coffee can, and maybe they can play some songs for money or something. I don't really understand what they're doing. But in any event, it smells like desperation over here. But the thing is that I just think that we're going to continue to deliver quality product every day, and we're going to do it at a reasonable price. And I think that winning, is a big part of that. And when you win, even if you pay, $19 as opposed to 67 cents like other people are charging or whatever. I'd rather pay $19 and win and pay 67 cents and lose. Of course, the longer term package you buy, the less expensive it's going to be. We have our Pick Dogs Dime Club. We're gearing it up. The Hall of Fame game is really only 50 days away. We talk about all this, all the time. Every year, I think Tony and I sit here, and even when, before we ever did this show, when we did our other show, we always talked about this, like how, it seems like it's going to be forever. And then all of a sudden football's here, right? And then all of a sudden you're in football and it's like, can you believe we're already a fourth of the way through the season? Right?
Yeah,
like
I know.
Like
it flies.
Can you believe it's Midnight Madness already?
Yes. I can't believe that. Wow.
It happens like that. It happens like that. So I'm not worried about it. We're building a lot of new things at Pick Dogs. What we're doing is we're enhancing everything we have. I've been working on a lot of things for the last 2 years, really since 2020. So however long that is, I've been working since the pandemic. Since coming out of the pandemic, and really rebuilding Sports Chat Place and to just breaking it all the way down and building it back up. So we're in the process of doing that. You're going to see an entire new article format. You're going to see, I'm the first one that did free picks on all the games. So you're going to start to see new things that we're going to do here. Once again, everybody else is going to be saying, oh man, we got to be doing this, and act like they thought of a new idea or something.
Right, and they were thinking about that during football season when they wasted their summer.
Believe me, they're never going to see this coming.
Nope.
We know they don't have any skill or talent, or else they'd be competing right here with us on YouTube.
No doubt about that. All right, Mitch.
That's the thing is it's like that's the difference, right? Because it's like that's why you don't see any of them out here, because it's like for this you can't. There's no gaming the system here. You got to show up and know what you're talking about. There's no gaming the system, talking to you guys, because you guys, you ever read my YouTube comments? No. Oof. No. Whoa. I once had a typo like on Yankees. It was like, you would have thought I killed somebody.
Yeah, we're not AI. We're not AI.
Yankees. It's like I put Yankee instead of Yankees. I forgot the S. It's like,
goodness.
It's like, whoa.
Oh goodness. I always get it all the time with the Creighton Blue Jays. I don't think you're not supposed to capitalize the J. I think it is. I always.
Oh yeah, there's the Creighton Blue Jays. It's the small J. It's all one word and small.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like the comments I get on YouTube when this stuff happens. Like, I'm so disappointed. I find it so disappointing. It's like, I'm cutting us a break.
That's right. And we got to read up on Jacksonville State and Sam Houston State, right? The new entries. So we got to stay. They're going to be board teams. And Ned Bellarmine. So there we go.
I'm ready. So
I'm ready. Let's get that Phil Steele rolling in. I was looking for you yesterday. I need to start reading up.
Wow, I didn't even think about it. I guess you're right.
You don't have to worry about getting the stuff mailed anymore, right? You don't have to worry about the mail.
It's true.
Remember,
the thing is, I used that Vegas Gamblers bookstore.
Yeah.
They sold my number, and it's like I just get called, left and right.
Just have Ruffolo order it for you.
They call me. You were looking for picks, right? No, actually, I ordered a couple magazines from Gambler's Bookstore where we bought this list from. Because I know it's them, right? Because the thing is, I made a mistake on my name or something, and it's like they call me that. Right?
Yeah, I know.
I know where you got it.
You got it.
You typoed my name.
You got on the
All
list.
right, I'm not going to take up more of everybody else's time, but I appreciate everybody here. We have the best handicappers in the world from top to bottom. We have a growing team. And I think that our team is still, guys, it's like we have different more people, but it's like very contrasting styles.
Oh, yeah.
You got people that love all favorites. Al Ninos and I, we argued all weekend long about
it. Yep, definitely.
So, people like me that I see the odds. I can't lay off.
Can't lay it off.
It's like, they said they put the price out there to bait you in. They get me every time. It worked. All right, Tony. Thanks.
All right, Mitch. Thanks. We'll catch up with you next week. Mitch here on the drive-thru. Let's continue here on the show. Ninos up next. We'll bring him up. We'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. I think he might have lost his table. He's been on the. I think he might have lost his table. He might have to. They probably have his chips now at the front desk. So let's go ahead and bring Ninos in. Catch him over at Pick Dogs. Bring him in right now. We're with Ninos. What's happening? You're gonna have to get a new table, Ninos.
Oh no, I'm starting to learn. See, when I'm following Mitch up, now I pick my chips up myself.
Oh, you did? Okay. All right. So you pick.
Next time, though, I think I might need to get some sunscreen with me next time.
Next time, get the sunscreen. That's right. You're gonna need the sunscreen next time. No doubt about that. Get this.
Argument about the favorites though with Mitch. It's way older than just this weekend. I believe that argument is older than Pig Dogs itself. So.
Yeah. I think it went over across the street. Oh yeah. It's been an argument that's been ongoing for some time, no doubt. Yeah. But let me see on this paper what. I think Ninos is changing form here. But anyway, Mariners and Marlins, your late night game tonight. Mariners $1.77, total of 7.
Yeah, it might not be a 10-star play here, but I think we got a lot of value on these Marlins here. It didn't work out too well last time we went up against Luis Castillo, but again, we're just getting a lot of value going against him, and we got a pretty good starter ourselves in Perez. Marlins bullpen's been pretty good too. I know the Mariners have a pretty good one themselves, but again, I think they match up there pretty well there. And lineups, yeah, they're dealing with a couple of big injuries, but they've been playing pretty well, these Marlins, and again, just a lot of value here. Two good starters. I would start looking at the under, but again, that total is set a bit low and the wind's blowing a little out. So I think the best value for this play is just to back the Marlins on the money line and hope they get the job done for us.
All right, Ninos likes in this one. He's going to go here with the Marlins money line that big plus money. Why you can't argue that, right? The only thing is you better hope the Marlins find their bats, right? That hitting form from last week, because it's been kind of rough here for them in this series.
Yeah, not the easiest guy to bounce back against, but again, they've got some pretty good bats. They just aren't going to be quiet forever. So, again, not expecting the highest scoring game here, but I think just a few runs could get the job done. So, again, it should be a lower scoring game, but I like the value on the Marlins.
Value on the Marlins here. Ninos here, Marlins plus 161 here against the Mariners. This one will have a start time here of 6:40 Eastern time. All right, Ninos, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action. Of course, we have baseball on the board today. We started with a 10-game card, but we have about 4 games in already. So we got about 6 games left to go in the primetime hour. Great results from Ninos in Major League Baseball, 1,187 units of profit. All documented over at Pick Dogs Premium. We can verify those numbers by going to Al's handicapper page. All right, Al, what do you have going over at the site?
Well, my first play went off already, but I still got 2 of them up there. You can get them both individually, or again, my $19 Grand Slam is one of those 2 plays. I got the other one up there for sale as well. But again, if you want both the plays, might as well grab a long term or one of those 2-for-1 capper bets.
That's right, guys. Got both Ninos over at Pick Dogs Premium. Great results that you can see here from Major League Baseball for the year. Also showing profit last 30 days, last 7 days, coming off a big day yesterday. Ninos up on the board with that $19 premium play. That 3-pack up there as well from Ninos. Of course, the long-term passes. Remember that 3, 7, or 30-day All Sports Pass. Get all of Al's premium plays for that period of time you select. When you go to his handicapper page, make that purchase. Pick as a promo code. You'll save that 15% off. All right, Al, as always, great having you on the show. Have a great night, and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Tony. Have a good one.
We got Ninos here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on. If you missed the pick, guys, we're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. David Racy up next. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Great year as well in baseball from David. So we'll bring him in right now. Coming in here with the fill-in for today. We got him here on a Wednesday. Bring in David right now. David, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. How are you doing?
Doing great. All right, here we go. Tonight, Red Sox at home against these pesky Rockies. Red Sox favorite over $2, $2.14, total 9.5.
Yeah, the Rockies have been pretty big underdogs the first 2 games of the series, and once again today. But Colorado's won the first 2 in this series. But I like Boston in this game, and I'm taking them on the run line to cover that 1.5. Boston has hit the ball very well this year. They're top 10 in runs scored and batting average. But the main reason is I am fading the Colorado pitcher, Austin Gomber. I think that's how you say his name. But he has been horrible this year. He's allowed 15 earned runs and 25 hits in just his last 3 starts, which has only been 10.2 innings. and he has an over 7 ERA on the year. So he has been horrible, and I think this Red Sox offense will take full advantage. Colorado, like I said, they won the first 2 games in the series, but they are only 29-40. They're last in the NL West. They haven't hit the ball too poorly, but that pitching staff from top to bottom has not been very good. Boston starting Garrett Whitlock, who has been inconsistent this year, but he has allowed 1 earned run or fewer in 3 of his last 5 starts. And I just like the Red Sox to have plenty of offense tonight against Gomber, and I think they cover the 1.5.
All right, we got David here coming in here on the Red Sox run line late. The run and a half here, minus 119, minus 110. Do your shopping, get the best number in this one here against the Rockies. As you mentioned here, Gomber has been the one that you got to be careful of. Some really ugly outings out there. The whip is almost 2. And what really concerns me here, especially in this ballpark, is that K rate of 14%, 10% walks, 2.37 home runs per 9 innings. This is a ballpark that will not be kind to a pitcher who's pitching like this.
No, it won't. And he does catch a little bit of a break because Devers is not in the lineup tonight. But I don't think it really makes much of a difference because, like you said, that whip almost at 2 is almost unheard of for a starting pitcher. It's really bad. So I think Boston will have plenty of hits, plenty of men on, and I think they'll do what they were unable to do for the beginning of the series and score quite a few runs.
All right, here we go with David on the Red Sox run line. Lay the run and a half, minus 110, minus 119. Do your shopping, get the best numbers. This one will have a start time here at 7:10 Eastern time. All right, David, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge for tonight's action. Of course, David's fantastic results in Major League Baseball, 885 units of profit in Major League Baseball. That is all documented over at Pick Dodge Premium. Verify that by going to David's handicapper page. Baseball on the board tonight. David, what do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
I actually won my afternoon play already today. I had the Braves minus the 1.5 today, so I already 1-0 on the day. I have my MLB 3-pack for tonight. Starts at 7:10, I believe. I also have my MLB best bet for $19. That's included in the 3-pack, so don't buy both of them. But if you're looking at that best bet, might as well just go with the 3-pack. I like all 3 games tonight. Like you said, it's been a good season in the MLB. I've had some brutal beats lately. The last 2 nights have not gone my way. Just teams blowing 5-1 leads left and right, it seems. But still have had a solid season. I like the 3 picks tonight. So MLB 3-pack's $39, best bet's $19, or look at my long-term package. But either way, head on over, join me for the day, or join me long-term, and we'll cash some winners.
Gotcha. What is the deal with Dave Racy over at Pick Dog? Premium great results, 885 units of profit. MLB for the year is 3 packs on the board right now. Or as David was mentioning, get the long-term pass. The 1-month pass is a great one. And use that promo code PICK at checkout, and you'll save $45 off that 30-day pass for all sports pass. All of his baseball for 30 days. Get on board. Use that promo code PICK at checkout to save that 15% off. All right, David, as always, great having the show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again next week. But let everybody know you're also a contributor over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place, a major contributor in written form.
Yeah, like Mitch was saying with the free pick articles, myself and the other writers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place have a write-up on just about every single game. We give a free pick. It's a great place for those free picks, some stats and some trends and all that good stuff. So head on over there to the websites. There's a tab, free picks. You can go to whatever sport you're looking for and find an article on just about every single game.
There you go. I always like to have the writers on because, they're very well researched. I really do. All right, David, have yourself a great week. We'll catch up with you next week.
All right, thanks, Tony. Have a good one.
You got it. David Racy here on the Drive-Thru. Guys, if you missed any picks, we're going to recap here at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the Drive-Thru. Up next, we're going to bring in Wayne Scott. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Wayne was very confident yesterday in his premiums. Boy, they came through. A really good day from Wayne yesterday over on the premium side. We'll bring him in right now. Ready to roll with Wayne Scott. Wayne, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony T? What's going on, Pick Dog family?
It's going great. All right, Wayne, here we go out west tonight. These D-backs, first place D-backs, will be hosting the Phillies. The D-backs are favored at minus 118, total 8.5.
Yes, sir. We got a mild number with the D-backs at 118, and if you've been betting with the D-backs all season, you've been cashing at plus 1,800, and you've been betting with the Phillies this season, you're down about $700. With Philly, they're on the road here where they haven't been playing too well. They're 14-23 on the road, but they're 5-16 as road dogs As I mentioned, D-backs been on fire pretty much at home, 21-14 at home, and they're 14-5 as as home favorites. We got Suarez on the mound for Philly. He has a 4.7 ERA on the season and a 1.4 WHIP. He's 0-2 in his night games with about the same ERA, 4.8 and a 1.5 WHIP. He's been pretty solid on the season overall. He's actually been pretty solid in his last 2 outings, but he just doesn't get the win. Even when he's pitching good, either the bullpen doesn't back him, and we know this Phillies team, they struggle with the bats, missing some of their better players, and the bats don't back him when he pitches good. So on the other side, we have Merrill Kelly. He's 8-3 on the season, but he's 6-3 in his night games. He has a 2.9 ERA and a 2.7 ERA a night. He's 1-1. I say 1-1. He has a 1.1 WHIP. And the vet's been solid, man. He's been good this season, even when he's had pretty subpar games. As you see, with a 6-3 night record, the bat's coming back on. With all that being said, I believe both of these bullpens are pretty even. I give a slight edge to the Diamondbacks. And Diamondbacks have been crushing lefties, but Philly's been hitting righties pretty strong lately. But I like Diamondbacks in this one, man. Diamondbacks with the refactor get back after yesterday's loss, 16-9 after a loss. Diamondbacks are also 7-2 against lefties, which Suarez is a left. And the Diamondbacks, they beat the teams that aren't good, the teams with losing records. They're 8-1 in their last 9 against the team with the losing record. All that being said, man, give me the Diamondbacks with the mild price tonight.
All right, we got Wayne here on the Diamondbacks. Mild price, minus 117 here against the Philadelphia Phillies. Hard to argue that one, especially with the Phillies team record 14 and 23 on the road. A road ERA on the bullpen, well over 5. Of course, Kelly, the team record behind Kelly. But when he's lined at this rate, minus 100, minus 150, 12-2. D-backs hit and score on the left-handed starters. Yeah, the key is the Phillies are a different team away from home.
Yeah, they don't play good. Even with Suarez on the mound, like I said, he's actually been a decent pitcher for the Phillies lately. But even when he does have a good outing, either the bullpen or the bats just don't come, and they just haven't been playing good on the road. Against the Diamondbacks team, it's been pretty much on fire on the road with their ace, Merrill Kelly. Well, not Gallen's the ace, but with their good pitcher in Merrill Kelly, I'll back D-backs all night in this situation.
All right, Wayne here on the Diamondbacks here, minus 117 here against the Phillies. This one to have a start time, 9:40 Eastern time. All right, Wayne, let's take a look over at Pick.com for tonight's action. Of course, all baseball on the board for tonight. Good results over the last 30 days. Actually, man, we have some grading coming. It's now 634 units of profit here the last 30 days. So some good afternoon action. We've seen the big numbers here from Wayne over at Pick.com doing fantastic work there, guys. So get on board. We see a couple of winners here today. Actually, it's been a strong day today. Looking at the results from today, Twins was a winner, Giants and the over were a winner. So 300 units picked up in the afternoon today. So really hot start to the day. Wayne, what do you have going on over at Pick Premium?
I have 2 more picks left, but only one for sale. So if you want to get both of those picks, you're going to have to hop on something long term, whether you get a 3-day, a weekly, or a monthly. You always pair me up with one of these top handicappers. Use that promo code PICK so you can save some money while you're buying these picks. Hey, man, let's cash, man. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to give out this quality and keep banging them out. Let's go.
Let's go, guys. Got board with Wayne Scott over at Pick.com. 3-0 day already to start this today, the day action. Hit the Giants and the over with the winner today, and a winner in the premium side here with the Twins. So good results here from Wayne. So get on board with that play tonight, or get the long-term pass, as Wayne has said, and use that promo code. All right, Wayne, as always, great having your show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again. We're going to catch up with you again on tomorrow's show.
Yes, sir. I'll be here tomorrow to give out a good one for y'all. Let's continue to cash, and y'all take care.
Take care indeed. Wayne Scott here on the drive-thru. Guys, if you missed a pick, we're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Up next, the springing Dana Lane from Titletown in Las Vegas, Nevada, as we crowned a Stanley Cup champion there last night in convincing fashion, the way they took care of business. Bring him in right now. Dana, what's happening? You feeling all right after yesterday?
Is it okay? I was disappointed they didn't get 10. I mean, you're at 9 at this point. You know, it's like Mayweather couldn't stop at 49-0, so you got to get the other one. But it was there's no words to describe the almost 20,000 people inside the arena. There's no words to describe my estimation, 6,000 that were outside of the arena. This town has been told since day one that they weren't going to be good enough to get a team. Then if they got a team, nobody would go. And then finally, you would never win a Stanley Cup because you didn't earn it, and this and that. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you looked up that expansion roster, from day one in 2017, I mean, there was teams that made massive mistakes, and no bigger mistake than the team that they played last night in the Florida Panthers, who basically gave them Riley Smith if the Vegas Golden Knights took Jonathan Marchessault. Well, those two led the team in scoring in year number one, and that wasn't the only one. I mean, up and down, the amount of deals that George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon did to get this team put together in the manner that they did and the time that they did, I mean, it's really second to none, and it has nothing to do with expansion draft rules. Oh, by the way, your owners and your NHL cities that you're claiming that wasn't fair, they agreed to the $500 million that they were handed. They agreed to their cut. They agreed to the expansion draft. I mean, there was nothing that Vegas did that was something that was underhanded. The league said, look, we're not going to have another Atlanta on our hands. We're not going to lose a franchise because they just can't get unstuck from the mud. And this was their solution, and Seattle's had the same luxury as well. The bottom line is it's tremendous for the city. Everybody's extremely happy here. The fans are as good as I've seen anywhere in the league. In fact, absolutely no, after talking to a Metro officer last night, absolutely no incidents because of the celebration. I mean, just a fantastic night all around. And I put on Twitter yesterday that Bill Foley and George McPhee, although there was others, certainly the Maloofs are involved because they own 30% of the team. But without those two, they are the absolute architects to making this happen. And now we got to start thinking about a dynasty, I guess.
No doubt about that, and keeping some of these players in there. Remember when the goalie got away after the that first Cup final? There was a lot of doubters, right? They didn't like that. Was not the Fleury left. The locals there did not like that.
Well, they didn't like Fleury leaving for sure, and the Golden Knights kind of lucked out. And first of all, nobody had a clue. You didn't want to talk about deals that the Golden Knights pulled. I mean, they handed San Jose a fourth rounder for Aiden Hill, and they're paying him, $2.3 million. I mean, really nothing compared to what he is going to get paid because he's a free agent this year. But they basically stole players from teams, and Aiden Hill was one. In that first year that they went to the Stanley Cup final, they used 5 goaltenders.
Yeah,
this year, right. They used 5 goaltenders. Even Yuri Patera got in. No goaltender that they used this year, including Jonathan Quick and Yuri Patera, were under 500 for this team. So again, more moves that the Vegas Golden Knights made to solidify the fact that they would be there standing. And honestly, the Panthers might have made Vegas or maybe the Panthers did a couple of favors for Vegas, because once the Boston Bruins were out,
yes,
the path was wide open at that point. And so then they went and they beat Toronto and beat Carolina because they did what they do in the postseason normally, and then they were just ripe for the picking. I think by the time they got to Vegas, I think Florida was spent, and
yes.
You could see that certainly after Game 4, and the first thing I said on social media, Tony, is when teams are beat, they start doing stupid things at the end of the game, and that's exactly what Florida was doing. Played a pretty good 15 minutes, but after that, Vegas certainly took over.
Yeah, and all that space on the ice in the games, in the 3 games played in Vegas, there was just so much space on the ice here for Vegas to maneuver through. All right, today we go to baseball here, West Coast baseball. Padres at home here facing the Guardians. Padres big favorites here, -156, total here 8.5.
Yeah, Aaron Savali against Michael Wacha, and Savali's pitched really well after coming back from that oblique muscle, or oblique strain. But as far as the Padres are concerned, maybe we're starting to see a little bit of a streak in them. They won 4 out of their last 5, and of course the loss that they had was against the Colorado Rockies, where they had a lead twice in that game, and then Colorado walked them off. So maybe we're starting to see, and this is the key to the betting on baseball, is getting on those streaks early, identifying the teams that maybe will go on a longer-term run that you can ride for a little bit. And maybe we're looking at that with San Diego. They're 7-4 in the month of June. They're 8.5 back of Arizona. And this is an important series, Tony, because after this series, they play the Tampa Bay Rays at home, and then they go to San Francisco for an important series against the Giants. So they really have got to take care of business against Cleveland. So you're not going to get a Padres team that's unfocused or taking Cleveland lightly. I don't know if San Diego can take anybody lightly at this point, but they know they have the talent in that locker room to compete with just about anybody in that division. I think they're starting to get a little bit better offensively. If you look at the first 2 months versus what they've done now, granted it's only 11 games, but they are averaging almost a full run more than they were in the first 2 months. So there are signs that are saying, okay, hey, look, San Diego and your big payroll, you are moving better, moving towards a better finish than you did a start. And Michael Wacha has been absolutely fantastic. In fact, if you look, he's allowed in his last 7 games, in his last 5 starts, he's allowed just 4 earned runs. So he's been absolutely fantastic, and that's good news because that bullpen of theirs that has been so good for most of the season, it's kind of faltered in the last 5 games or so. The ERA is around 6.5 in that last 5 games. So you really want a guy that's going to give you quality starts, which we know Michael Wacha can do and has done. And if he can get in that 6th, 7th inning, I think San Diego's going to be in a good spot. So we'll take the Padres tonight.
All right, Dana here on the Padres here, minus 156 against the Guardians. Yeah, maybe Wacha got some more arm strength going to Tampa Bay when they're using him kind of as an opener, right? It was a weird spot for him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And matter of fact, and even in the games that outside of those, in his last 7 starts, I'm talking about, even in those 3 other starts, Wacha's only given up 3 earned runs in 17.2 innings. So he really has been somebody that the Padres have been able to lean on. And of course, they got a good effort out of Joe Musgrove last night. So again, everything's kind of pushing forward. And I hear guys talk all the time about this Guardians lineup and how once they get going, they're going to be incredible. But I mean, they play well one game, and then the next game you're like, oh, that's why you're the 27th ranked offense in baseball. I can't rely on that. I can't rely on that on the road. And if you're 27th in baseball, facing a pretty decent pitcher in Wacha, even though Savali's been very good through his first 4 starts.
That's what I was going to bring up. Savali's numbers are pretty impressive. ERA 2.31, WHIP of 1, doesn't walk a lot of batters, lots of ground balls, strikeouts about 16%. That's the key thing, is that he does give up contact.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you look at his run support in a game where I think that Cleveland's going to have to give Savali some run support, so far, Savali has not received that. They've only given in his starts this year. They've only given him 3 runs or less in 4 of those. 3 of those starts. So one time they gave him a bunch of runs, but other than that, not a lot of run support for Savali as well. So still really good pitching matchup, Tony, for sure. But I still favor San Diego by a little bit. And I would shop for this line a little bit. I liked it at minus $1.50 this morning. It went up a little bit outside my comfort level, but still like the Padres as a free play.
All right, Padres here, minus 156 against the Guardians. This one will have a start time here, 9:40 Eastern time. All right, Dan, let's take a look over at Pick Doctrine for tonight's action. Of course, great results in baseball. Look at top of leaderboards in baseball. 1,935 units of profit for Dana Lane over at Pick Doctrine. That is documented. Go over to Dana's handicapper page. You can verify those numbers by checking them out there. All right, Dana, still baseball on the board tonight. What do you have going on over at the site?
Yeah, we're up over 2,000 now. I was sweating the Braves a little bit. I know I didn't have what it took to lay the 1.5, but got the Braves today down 4-0. I'm like, oh man, why do I lay these numbers? But down 4-0 comes back. You get the win 10-7. We have 2 games left. You get to 1 game starts in 7 minutes. Baltimore and Toronto, and of course, still on the board is Philadelphia and Arizona.
There you go, guys. Get on board with Dana Lane over at Pick.com. Great results, as you can see here from Dana in baseball. So get on board with Dana's plays for tonight. Or, kids, get the long-term pass way to roll with Dana the way he's rolling. You may consider that 1 month all sports pass, all of Dana's premium plays for 30 days. All of his baseball. He's been red hot in baseball. Get him for that 30-day pass. The promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. You can also add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Dana, is always great having the show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again next week.
All the best. I hope I get my voice back.
Yeah, get that voice back. He will have it back. Dana Lane here on the drive-through. Right, guys, if you miss any pick, let's get to the recap. We're hitting the top of the hour, and then we'll get to my pick. My pick starts a little later in the evening, so we'll get to the recap first. So we get those 7-10 games out of the way. If there are some up there, I believe there may be a few up there from 7-10 starts. Remember, these games don't stop at the top of the hour. They usually start around 10 after the top of the hour. Let's get to the recap. We had Chris on the Yankees plus 100 against the Mets at even money. Mitch was on the Royals minus 101 against Reds. Ninos, Marlins plus 161 here against the Mariners. David on the Red Sox run line, lay the run and a half, minus 119 against the Rockies. Wayne D-backs minus 117 on Phillies. Dana here on the Padres minus 156 here against the Guardians. I'll be on the Rangers here, lay the minus 132 here against the LA Angels here. I think this is a spot here for this Rangers team to try to get back in gear here. They are the top offense here in baseball. And, of course, we will have Reed Detmers on the mound here against Heaney. Detmers in ERA near 5. Good strikeouts, high walks, whip about 1.5 for the season. But the Rangers have just been hammering left-handers. They're hitting 285 against lefties, averaging nearly 7 runs a game. Detmers road ERA near 5. Team record behind Detmers on the road 1-4. So we'll take the Rangers in this spot. All right, guys, we got that one in there, guys. Check out Pick.stream tonight. I've got plays up there for you right now from Major League Baseball. 4 premiums up there. I got a best bet standalone, and I got a 3-pack from baseball. So 4 premiums up there. Or you get my long-term pass. I have a 3, a 7, or 30-day all sports pass. Get all my premium plays for that period of time. You select when you go to my handicapper page and you make that purchase, use that promo code PICK at checkout, you'll save 15% off. All right, let's get you caught up on some of these games that are going on right now. We'll get to some of the scores for you here in just a second. I think we'll go ahead and pull up that data for you right now on that scoreboard here. Let's back it up a little bit. Let's get to the top of the game here. Braves in game 1 get the win 10-7 against the Tigers. High-scoring game there. Braves making that comeback. Brewers lose here. Twins again as big favorites 4-2. Giants come from behind and get that win 8-5 in extra innings. Big home run there in the 9th to force the extras. Current in progress now. Braves, it was 5-5. Then Braves get a home run to take the lead 6-5. Bottom 7th. They were favored again in this one. And, of course, we got the Yankees and the Mets about to start here. Yankees and Mets tonight. Then we get into the 7:05 games. All right, that's going to do it for this edition here of the Drive-Thru, guys. Make sure you guys tune in again here with us tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers here from the show with their plays for you here on Thursday. Don't forget to always get started every day with that morning show every day here at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time with Mitch. You got Chris, you got Rod Zawacki on the show. And, of course, don't forget Mitch 7 picks in 5 minutes. The betting tools show is Nerf Fees, Your Fees. We also have Ron Romanelli with his breakdown, a pick from every game from Major League Baseball. Mike Davis with his shows Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Of course, he does have his prize picks. He does have that first 5 inning plays from him. Nick Mencken with his Nerf Fees, Your Fees. Mills with his prop video picks as well. So, guys, check it out. They're over at Pick Dodge Premium. All right, let's continue on here on the show. There are going to be some rain delays here in Boston and in New York. Those will start later in the afternoon. I'm showing 5:10 start here in Boston's game, and I'm showing 4:40 here with the Mets and Yankees. So keep an eye there. Some rain delay starts tonight with bad weather there out there in Boston and New York. So we're going to have a couple of games that will start that are going to be in a delayed process. So I'd like to thank everybody here on the show, everybody in the chat room. Appreciate everyone's contributions there. Nick Beats Vegas, Ramon Scott in there as well. Jay Peasy in there. Like I said, Angels game going over total there of 9. Of course, Blake in there. Butterscotch. Appreciate everyone's. John Stewart there as always. Everyone's contributions there in the chat. Arnold Estrada was in there. Mo Harris loves everyone. Always wants me to tell me. Mo Harris always loves me to tell the cappers that he loves them. So I don't know if there's some inside joke there, but anyway, Big Op was in there in the chat today. Darren Turner, always great to see you. JC Nunez in there, and Fernando as well. So great contributions. Kyle Kim is in there. There we go. First time I've seen Kyle here on the show. I know he's now on with Pick Dogs YouTube and with Mitch here at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat. Jay Peasy in the house today, and DP as well. So lots of great contributors there, no doubt about that. All right. Let's see here. Kyle Kim is talking about Spurs under wins, absolute block there. And kind of looking at some of Kyle's comments. There's interesting stuff here about what's coming up in the NBA draft. All right, so lots happening. Thanks to everyone's contribution. Blake, appreciate the contributions as well. That's going to do it here for our show. Let's go ahead and bring in our cappers here from tonight's show. Anyway, goodbye, guys. You guys have a great afternoon, evening. We'll catch up with you again